Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but who says you can't have it all day long? In this one, we're going to be doing chili scrambled eggs. It's super easy to make, and this is something that I used to make every single day when I worked in hospitality. I'm also going to run you through a couple of ingredients restaurants use to make their food taste so much better, so let's get straight into it. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy.
To start things off, preparation is the most important part, so for the first ingredient, here is 1 shallot or shallot, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and with this, slice off the tip leaving on the root, slice it in half, and peel, saving the scraps for stock. Once peeled, make thin slices across, stopping just before the root, and because these are so small, the horizontal slice isn't needed, so proceed to rotate at 90 degrees and dice into as small pieces as you can, doing this with both halves just until you're left with this tiny piece which is the root. Next is 1 long red chili that can be omitted if you don't like chili, or substituted with bird's eye chilies if you're hardcore and like more heat. Start by removing the stem that can be placed into compost if you have one, and with the chili itself, thinly slice it the whole way across, either straight on like I'm doing, or on a slight angle if you prefer a different shape. Now as for the scramble mix, we're going to need 6 large free-range eggs. These can be cracked on a flat surface, which reduces the chances of shell ending up in the eggs, and open them into a mixing bowl or large jug. One of the ingredients that a lot of cafes and restaurants will use is thickened cream, so add in 2 tablespoons or 40 milliliters, and this is going to make them so creamy and silky smooth. With that done, grab a fork or whisk and beat the eggs into the cream just until everything is evenly combined. And I remember doing this at a place I used to work at, and we'd use around 10 dozen eggs, cracking them into a bucket, and it would only last like half of the breakfast surface. It is crazy how many eggs are consumed daily. Anyway, once you've done listening to my irrelevant story and your eggs are nice and smooth, pop them aside for a sec. To cook the eggs, I'm not going to be using my usual stainless steel pans, so place a non-stick pan over medium-high heat, add in 1 tablespoon or 14 grams of clarified butter, which is butter that's had its milk fats removed, allow it to melt, and add in the finely diced shallots and half of the thinly sliced chili, saving the remaining half for garnish. Let's then use a silicone spatula and gently saute this for 1.5 to 2 minutes, just until the shallot becomes golden and the chili softens, moving it around regularly. With that cooking slowly in the background, we then need to prepare the bread, and here I have some white loaf sourdough, but you can use whichever bread you prefer. This can then be sliced into as many pieces as you'd like, and of course slice it as thin or as thick as you'd like to. Drop it into your toaster, crank it down and toast to your preference, and once done, give it a generous spread of butter, getting it coated all over. Going back to the pan, let's then add in the egg and cream mix, making sure to scrape it all in there to avoid waste, also adding in a pinch of sea salt flakes to taste. Then again with the silicone spatula, gently fold the eggs over, coming in from the sides, just until soft, fluffy and wet curds are created. This really only takes about 30 seconds, and you do want the eggs to be quite wet as they'll continue to cook off the heat. If they are dry, they have been overcooked, so once you start noticing it all start to come together, immediately remove it from the stovetop. Now for the best bit, place down your buttered toast and gently lay over the scrambled eggs, with this recipe serving 2 people. For an optional topping, grate over some fresh Pecorino, Romano or Parmesan cheese, and you can also add cheese whilst the eggs are cooking if you prefer. Garnish with the remaining chili if you're using it, sprinkle over some fried shallots for a nice crispy texture throughout the eggs. Drizzle it up with some sriracha sauce or any of your favourite sauces, garnish with coriander or cilantro, which is of course optional, and hit it up with a few cracks of black pepper, leaving us with this beautiful, quick, easy and extremely delicious chili scrambled eggs on sourdough toast that's perfect for breakfast, lunch or dinner. The only thing that's then left to do is for me to come out of my comfort zone and finally show me eating on camera, and we can then dig in.